Thank you very much for the invitation to create this video and to contribute my experiences on AI use at the educational level. My name is Justin Bissell, and I'm a member of the San Diego State University Department of Geography. Before coming to SDSU, I spent almost 19 years in consulting, with the last 13 years at a geotechnical firm specializing in watershed and aquatic habitat restoration on the north coast of California. So within the field of geography, I'm a physical geographer and GI scientist that focuses primarily on geospatial and geostatistical modeling and geomorphology. My teaching comprises those interests, as well as hydrology, environmental science, and the uses of artificial intelligence in spatial modeling and analysis. So my approach to teaching has always been one of pragmatism. I do my best to integrate practical skills and knowledge used in the workplace into assignments and exams. My background in the professional sector has given me fairly extensive experience engaging the skills and knowledge that agencies are looking for in their new hires. The thematic lens of my classes is always geographic in nature. I integrate concepts and understanding of systems and processes from a spatial perspective, but I also want my students to develop the skill sets that they would use in any job or career, meaning critical thinking, problem solving, and especially the practical and technological applications of AI. So when I started teaching, I became aware of the potential and the potential drawbacks for generative AI for student use. At first, I only saw AI as like a second, slightly better version of Google or Wikipedia, but the development of generative AI genuinely took me by surprise. It wasn't just that there was a convenience of things like AI translation. I started feeding all my exam questions and assignments through an AI to see how well it could respond, and often it gave me quicker, better responses than I could have reasonably asked an undergraduate for. For the record, I did struggle a bit with the concept at first. If a student could go to an AI for easy answers on essentially any question I could ask on a homework assignment or exam, how could I properly evaluate their learning of the thematic material? So I revisited my basic precept. How could I best prepare students for the professional workplace using the thematic lens of geography? My reasoning is this. Since AI is widely available, basically every professional agency will use it because of its potential to boost productivity. And a company or agency that's not using it is already behind. Thus, to have a better chance at acquiring a job, students need the skills to use it effectively, and in the service of the SDSU mission, to use AI within a moral and ethical framework as well. Many students and instructors perceive AI as a shortcut or even as cheating. I decided to turn this concept around. Rather than limit AI use, I now require AI use on every single assignment, and I also require its use on my exams. To ensure that students are learning the thematic materials I cover in class, and to evaluate their overall learning during exams, I've structured assignments and exams as practicums. Say, if the class material deals with Earth-Sun relationships, then the students are outside taking selfies on campus during different times of the day and referencing those photos on a digital globe. For themes involving environmental justice and climate change, they're creating geodata related to human vulnerability and resilience. For Earth processes, water resources, human impacts on the environment, geomorphology, they're interpreting custom data sets, creating maps, and PowerPoint presentations on locations and data that they themselves have made from scratch. I believe a key component to effective integration of AI within a curriculum is to have it buttress learning through interaction and to supplement knowledge, all without compromising the academic rigor of our instruction. Further to that, the students are engaging in acts of creation rather than memorization. It's one thing for a student to memorize some facts for a test, write them out at need for a question, and then immediately forget everything they learned after an exam. It's another thing entirely to have them engage in acts of creation, of actually doing something with the class knowledge in order to be evaluated on it. AI can assist in an act of creation and performance by buttressing student knowledge and with advice on process and implementation, but the trick is to get students to perform themselves. Many students do find this difficult. Many of them have spent the entirety of their academic careers being evaluated in a fashion where they provide memorized facts for a grade, and then they forget and they move on. In my experience, many find it very challenging to actually do things using the concepts that they've learned. I always liken my exams to a driver's test. You can get all the information you need from an AI or the internet or resources with past exams, but they are the ones that actually need to do the driving. My exams are open note, open book, open internet with AI use required. I structure the exam such that if students aren't using AI effectively, then they'll run out of time. And of course, I let them know this beforehand. The reason I do this is because this is how the professional world works. They'll have difficult tasks and these same resources, including AI. I require them to prepare using AI to create study guides and to practice the techniques that they've learned over the semester using the thematic materials from lecture, much the same way that one prepares for a driver's test. So the feedback I've gotten after final exams is very positive. I have students thanking me for requiring the practical applications with AI use. They're seeing the effect of AI on the professional world, and they are cognizant of its value. It's important to note that many see learning about AI and its applications in their fields as critical components of the university experience. As end goals, they want good jobs as a result of getting their degrees, and AI is transforming the working world on a near daily basis. Students inherently want every advantage possible, and from my perspective, AI skill sets aren't just an advantage anymore, they're essentially requirements. And I will also say that I am exceedingly proud of my students, how quickly they adapt and how quickly they rise to these challenges. I was overwhelmingly pleased when SDSU began offering the AAAI credential for students as well as faculty. I'm also thrilled that we're now offering a good version of ChatGPT to students, staff, and faculty. I'm very keen on having students know not just how awesome and versatile AI can be, but also its potential limitations and pitfalls. As you can see, in one of my assignments on environmental change and vulnerability, I allow them to discover for themselves the drawbacks of trying to get AI to do work for them without limitation or review. I'm also very glad that the credential that we offer here does cover those bases. Now, methods to accomplish all this will obviously vary by discipline. Reestablishing student evaluation around practicum evaluation required a lot of thought on my part. And further to that, I needed to balance the speed and the learning curve of the students around evolving technology. However, from my perspective as an educator, it's our responsibility to adapt with the times. From my perspective as a working professional, practical skills and experience were already critical to obtain and to keep a job. And as of now, responsible, effective, ethical AI use is equally critical. Thank you again for allowing me this opportunity, and please do feel free to reach out if you care to chat about this topic. I'm always keen to have the insights and perceptions of my fellow educators.